Late. Yeah.
What up, what up, what up, what up, good people? It is your favorite bi-weekly Monday night sports talk show, and that is Dr. Oui E Talk Sports, where we give you the news that you can use and make you smarter at the water cooler when you're talking to your friends and when you're talking to your coworkers about sports. We have a lot to talk about today, jam-packed show. We're going to be talking about both the top undefeated teams went down this weekend, Buffalo and Philly. We're talking about teams that are surprises that are really, really good, like the Colts are good with Danny Dimes. What is going on? And then we're going to talk about some teams that are surprisingly bad and don't look like there's anything that's happening to get them to turn it around anytime soon. And we're talking about specifically the Baltimore Ravens, who really look like a dumpster fire, and teams that we thought would be worse, but are kind of sneakingly, treading water. Dallas, everybody in the state of Texas. Houston's treading water. Dallas is treading water, even with that bad defense and injuries. So we got a lot to talk about. But I'm saying we because I'm not here by myself. I'm here with my co-host, our resident Eagles fan, also known as Dr. Woody Brown. Doc, what's going on?
Nothing. How you doing, Alice?
How are you doing? I mean, that's the question I ask. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. A little upset yesterday, but life goes on. There's no undefeated teams. Miami from what year was that? Only undefeated.
72. I think this is 72 Dolphins that went undefeated. And they're still their biggest scare was New England.
Yes. That great Super Bowl 2008. Yes.
But outside of that, they haven't really. I mean, there've been some 14s and some 15s, but New England was the closest. And here's a little backstory, because Brandon Jacobs lives here in the Atlanta metro area, and I've had the opportunity of coaching with him and getting to know him. And he said that if they had not played New England in that final game of the season and lost to them, he said, I don't think we would have won in the Super Bowl. But he said, even though we lost that game, we figured out how to beat them. And they were able to, create a game plan for that Super Bowl that was well executed and had the results that they wanted, because they said, hey, we can beat them.
They did.
And they did. And so that ruined what would have been, to this point, the perfect season that was even bigger, because they played more games. They would have been 19-0 after that if they had won that game. But thankfully they didn't. And Bill Belichick is continuing on his tour to sully his reputation.
in my alma mater, at least from grad school.
As I take my victory laps, but I try to tell y'all, when he got the job, he's not the GOAT. It was Tom Brady, but nobody wanted to believe me. Everybody was telling me how I'm mad people tell me I didn't know anything about football. Like that's how serious they were about. But they were all North Carolina fans and graduates, so I take all of that with a grain of salt. But I was like, y'all, like, the numbers don't lie. I'm not just a Bill Belichick hater. What I'm saying is that he has a losing record.
Without Tom, before and after.
Without Tom, he has a losing record. He has an abysmal record in Cleveland, and he is about to set an abysmal record in North
Carolina. Yeah, and after Tom left and went to Tampa.
And he had an abysmal record when Tom left and went to Tampa, and he could not drive. And look how much money the Patriots had to spend to put together a viable team. they had to go in the free agent pool because there was not real football players on that team.
Yeah.
And it was Bill Belichick picking those players.
Yeah.
So, if we're going to heap all the praise on him for when he's winning, you got to give him the ish when he's losing too. Don't just say, oh, because I hear a lot of excuse makers for Bill Belichick. No, he's not a good coach. He's a good defensive coach, but
he's a good defensive coach. You gotta give him that.
Yeah. Oh, I'll give him defensive coach. I'll give him a good defensive coach. I'll give him a great defensive coach. I even use the word great. I even use the word Hall of Fame defensive coach. But as a head coach, he was blessed to have Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And I'm not a Tom Brady fan. I don't like Tom Brady.
I did. I like him now. Actually, I do like him now. I hated him when he was the player. I like him post, in retirement, I should say.
I'm neutral on him now. When he was playing,
I hated him because I hated the Patriots and because they beat my teams. Although the NFC is responsible for his losses, 3 losses. NFC East.
Yeah, twice to Eli and once to
Nick Foles.
Nick Foles. I was like, who was that guy? He's selling insurance now, but he won that game. He played his ass off that game. That's what.
But he played well. See, I forget when Wentz got hurt. He took over.
The first 14 games
he took over.
Season.
But
but the team was.
He got a statue on the side of the link, so Eagles fans love him.
Okay, so coming into Sunday, coming into this season, because I know one of the things we talked about for this show was like, how are our preseason predictions holding up? So coming into this season, the easy ones are still holding strong, right? Buffalo's Buffalo, despite the loss. New England is better than everybody thought.
My picks were the Eagles and the Ravens. So
the Ravens defense is the worst in football.
It is, and it's worse with the injuries, but it wasn't great before injuries.
It's like everybody, and this is how my Falcons used to be back in the day when I used to do fantasy football. I'd be like, anybody that's playing the Falcons defense is going to have a career day, and I would just put them on my fantasy team. Like, even though it was a quarterback or running back, I was just like, yeah, you're playing Falcons defense, you're going to have a career day. And they would. It would just be that way. That's what's happening right now with the Baltimore Ravens. The stat that they've already given up 177 points in 5 games.
5 games, yeah. Because Sunday was crazy. Against the
Houston couldn't score. Just looked abysmal. And they come into Baltimore and give them 40.
42.
A 40 piece in the NFL? Like,
yeah. No defense. Piece. No defense. Because, Lamar wasn't playing, but he doesn't play defense, so.
Yes. But Lamar keeps them closer and it keeps the other team off the field. When you got, the bum behind you, and your offense is built around Lamar's skill set, you can't just replace that guy, right? He has, particularly with a backup quarterback that doesn't have a similar skill set.
Yeah, Rush is actually he was good for Dallas.
Cooper Rush is good for Dallas. Cooper Rush is good for a team that has a traditional drop back, play action type quarterback. That's not Lamar Jackson's game. He can do it, but everybody's knowing he can take off on you and hit his head on the goalpost. So ain't nobody worried about Cooper Rush doing that. So you can play a more traditional defense, and that's what happened. That's what's been happening. And so now Houston's getting the ball back after 3 and outs, or he threw 3 picks? He threw 3 picks. Cooper Rush threw 3 picks. So they're getting the ball back.
Because Texas defense is actually good. Even though their offense needs some help and the offensive line sucks, but the defense actually is decent.
I really think that if malpractice could be sued for in the NFL, the Ravens defensive coordinator should be sued for malpractice,
Well,
or their GM.
well,
Because I understand they pay their players and there's only so much money to go
yeah,
around. And they've got a lot of injuries. So let me give
yeah. They
them
do have a
that
lot of
credit.
injuries, but a lot of people have a lot of injuries. It's football.
But but you should be able to find some
Yeah, yeah,
serviceable
yeah,
backups at
yeah.
a decent price that can fit underneath the cap, and you can still put a good product on the field. What you have on that field right now is busters and bones. I mean, it's so that's why I think it's a GM, because you've got to fill out a roster. And yes, you've got limited resources. Everybody's got a salary cap. But somehow the Eagles find a way to field a good team.
We do for the most part. Yeah, our defense this year is not as good as last year, but that happens after you win the Super
Your
Bowl.
defense is carrying your team right now,
I know,
FYI.
but it's still not as good as it was last year because we got maybe 6 sacks this season, and we had 6 sacks in the Super Bowl.
But you lost a couple of
That's what
players
I'm
after the
saying.
Super Bowl, which
It's not the
happened.
same defense. Is what I'm saying. It's not the
Yeah.
same defense. We lost C.J. Gardner-Johnson. We lost Big Play Slay. We lost Sweat. Who else did we lose? Milton. Oh goodness. So yeah, Williams because he's with the Patriots.
Yeah, so all right. I'm going to say something that I would not expect to have said. The Cowboys are sneaky good. Now, I
The
don't count the
offense.
win against
The offense.
offense. The defense is still bad. They're not as bad as the Ravens defense
No,
because at least they try. Like the Ravens defense doesn't even try. Like
it's like they
you
give it
got
up.
guys just running open, catching 50-yard bombs. It's like 7 on
It's
7.
like they're wide open. Yeah.
Yeah. The Cowboys defense, they don't have any talent, but at least they try. Their offense is, and Dak Prescott is playing phenomenal.
He is, unfortunately.
I
He
just threw
is.
up in my mouth a little bit,
He is,
but
unfortunately.
if I call myself an analyst or whatever I am, I have to be honest.
Yeah, I admit
That
he is. But
Dak
the
Prescott is
people talk
playing.
about him today like he the MVP. They played the Jets. Come on now. So,
No, no,
but
no, no. I'm not
yeah,
counting that.
but
I'm not
yeah,
counting that. What I'm
that,
counting is they took the Packers to overtime, and that should not have happened.
that shouldn't
With that
have.
defense
That shouldn't
and
have.
with that offense, they should not have gone to overtime with the Packers.
And
They should have. They could have beaten your team if it wasn't for a couple of drops by you, boy.
Man,
I
they
know
could
there's
have.
ifs, there's a
Could.
lot of ifs or whatever,
It is. Because,
but they had a
one
good
play can't
showing.
determine the game.
They lost that game, but they had a good showing. Everybody thought Eagles were going to blow them out. They had a good showing, and every game they've been
In it.
in it.
Although I
The
think the Bears were beating them.
but the Ravens haven't been in these games. Kansas City
Well,
had scored
see,
over. Kansas City had not scored over 30 points, and they dropped 35. What
they
37?
when they played the Bills, it just came back. See, they can't keep a lead because of their defense.
And the defense, and right, and so, and when you think of that, I know it's the first game of the season, so you're thinking. I'm just assuming that the head coach is thinking my defense can do the job, and they didn't do the job. But now that you see that, so you shouldn't have punted in that game when you had 4th and 2.
Yeah.
And if Lamar gets a first
Because your
down,
defense
you
can't
can
stop
ice the
anybody.
game.
Yeah.
And maybe, and it's funny, football, all sports in general, one play could turn around a whole season.
It
One
can.
win
It
can turn around a whole season. If they had beaten Buffalo to avenge that loss, who's to say what they would be right now? Even with it, because everybody would start playing with that confidence. But you lose that game and that doubt gets planted again. Can we beat Buffalo?
True, and Derrick Henry with the fumbles, which is
with the fumble.
Mm-hmm.
And now Lamar's trying to do too much. Zay Flowers is playing phenomenally well. I would shout out to Zay Flowers. He's the only one that's playing worth a damn on that team. And now he doesn't have a quarterback anymore. So the Ravens are by far the biggest disappointment I've had this season. I'm a Lamar fan.
I am too.
And
I am too, but I don't think their division is not great because of the Browns and the Bengals because Joe Burrow's out.
exactly. So
So
think
it's the
about it like
Steelers.
this: the Steelers are in the catbird seat with Aaron Rodgers in that division.
Right now.
All they have to do is, and the way they've been playing, we don't count the Jets game because the Jets are trash. They're vying for the number one overall draft pick. That is, we understand.
They're the only team without a win.
And won't get one. From what I've seen, they're undisciplined.
That Tampa game was close though, until they lost. The best part of the game was
they came back in that Tampa game to make it look better. The best game they played was the first game against Pittsburgh.
That's true.
That was the best game.
I just like the coach's sideline dancing. That was most entertaining from the Tampa game.
I think yeah. So the Jets are going to they're going to be looking for a quarterback because Justin Fields is done.
See, I don't think. Well, of course he. But I don't think
quarterback Justin Fields.
It's not all on him. The whole team is bad. The defense and offense.
They weren't this bad last year.
They weren't, but it's a new coach.
So Aaron, this is a referendum on Aaron Glenn because that team.
Some of that, the penalties and stuff, that's like discipline. That's like, that's just.
And that's coaching.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I think one of our main problems is coaching too, which we'll get into later. I'm sure.
Yes, your offensive coordinator is terrible.
Yes, he is.
Well, I take that back. That's a bit hyperbolic.
He's inexperienced.
Not calling good games.
He's inexperienced, and it shows.
He's inexperienced, and he's not calling good games, and so that is really impacted.
It's no pattern. It's haphazard.
It
doesn't. It's not.
I mean, they said I heard a stat that said in the second half, out of 23 plays, 22 were passes.
Mm-hmm. And we
had Saquon Barkley.
And we had a lead.
Mm-hmm. And you don't try to take the air out the ball.
I know.
You don't slow the game down.
But it's just the offense is too predictable and vanilla. Like I understand, switch it up, throw the ball a little bit, but run the ball. I mean, but you don't want the defenses to know what the heck you're gonna do. But it's like he's just picking a play. Let's just do this here. It's no pattern to it. Rhyme or reason.
Yes, and the team is feeling that, and their frustrations are starting to boil over.
Sure, like when our team imploded, it was the same problem. We had a bad offensive and defensive coordinator that year.
So something's got to happen. Mm-hmm. I think if of the two teams that were undefeated that lost this weekend, the Bills and the Eagles, I'm more concerned about the Eagles because of the offensive coordinator.
Oh, I am too.
Mainly the Bills.
The Bills need their problem. Their problem. Well, they need defense too. If they're gonna go
their defense. Yes. Josh Allen is makeup, right? He covers a lot of bad spots.
He does, and sometimes when he tries to be Superman, is when bad things happen.
And so, but when they turn the ball over, you notice when they had 3 turnovers, which was uncharacteristic.
Yeah.
You see what happened. They lose to a team that's on the rise, but they're not that great. But they're
not. But
divisional game.
Yeah, divisional games are always different, and their defense actually is decent.
And the quarterback made some plays.
Yeah, he did. Just, I was surprised, but I'm like, this might be a trick game. But I thought the Jets game might be too. And I knew our game was going to be tough just because of the Broncos defense.
So, in the AFC North, I think that division is shaping out pretty much how I thought. Buffalo, New England.
Yeah, Buffalo.
I didn't think Miami was going to be
as bad as they are.
And then the Jets. I thought
the Jets would be better. I thought Miami would be better, but I thought they would be bad overall.
I probably, I don't have the receipts, but I probably, I think I may have put the Jets above Miami.
You did. I remember that, but yeah. And I agree with you too.
Above Miami. My bad.
I agree with you too. I thought the Jets would be better than they are. especially after the first game too, because they look good.
And yes, and they are garbage.
Fields looked the best he looked in that game against the Steelers.
That may have just been trying the revenge game against Aaron Rodgers, and it is now it's a dumpster fire. I mean, the pre-snap penalties, the holdings, the just a bad overall everything. It's just not well coached, and they're not executing. So, I mean, and they're already talking about calling for players' jobs. Like you hear like analysts like they need to fire some people, they need to cut some people to let people know that this is not going to be tolerated. And I agree. If it's week after week and you're having this kind of undisciplined play, you got to show them you mean business. You got to get control of that locker room. And sometimes it's just, firing some people. And you might need to fire somebody that is a starter or second string, because if you cut the fat at the end of the bench, nobody's really concerned about that. Oh, yeah,
That's true.
You cut somebody that's worth a damn, or you trade them away. Oh, that's gonna get some attention. But you've got to have some results on the backside of that, right? If you trade away a good player and you still have the same results, then it's really bad. So I think between the Ravens, the Jets, and the Saints, they're all three are fighting for who's going to get the first round draft pick.
Sure, but I really think it's going to be the Jets.
I think it's going to be the Jets.
I think it's going to be Jets because the Saints surprised me yesterday. I actually was happy for them.
The Saints still have a little fight.
Their defense has been decent. They just don't have a quarterback.
They don't have a quarterback.
Their defense has been good.
They wasted a pick on that dude from Louisville. He was terrible. Tyler Shough. He was shook.
Yes, it's bad. But I was happy they won. I was happy the Panthers won too.
So my surprising teams, one of them's on TV right now, the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The Colts.
Surprising, 3-1. Colts are surprising. You just said who did you just say?
I said the Colts, Jaguars.
But
who else? I'm surprised that the Texans aren't as bad as they are.
Well, anytime you play the Ravens or the Jets, I don't count those victories.
I'm surprised that they're as bad as they are. I figured they would be better.
They're bad, and they're getting worse. And it's like, and the defense is really good.
But if they on the field like half the game, you're gonna wear them out.
Which is what's concerning me, that DeMeco Ryans is a defensive coordinator and not a head coach, because he's got to build the offensive side of the ball. You can't just throw your quarterback out there and say make something happen.
No,
you have to give him some weapons. You have to give him
schemes.
Coordinators
matter.
I think Travis Hunter just made a play. He didn't really make a play. The ball.
Coordinators matter. I know from personal experience.
Absolutely, and your team was going through the growing pains that y'all went through a couple years ago when you lost both your coordinators, and you had that kind of.
We had no defense and no offense. That year was really bad. Yeah, but we won 10 games. I don't understand it either. But
you won like 9 of the first 10, and then
we won 10 games, and then we lost the rest of them.
You lost the rest of them, and you got boat raced in the playoffs. So
what was it? Well, I don't even think. I knew we were going to lose. I didn't even want us to make the playoffs. I knew we weren't going to go past the first round. We didn't even have all our players. We didn't have Smitty or AJ, I don't think, in the playoffs.
Tampa is not as much a surprise. I think I am.
Well, I'm surprised, but they've been good. But they've been basically if they didn't lose us, they'd be undefeated.
Yeah,
and that game was close.
They've got a solid defense. I think Baker Mayfield has had. I think
and they got a lot of injuries on top of it.
Tampa, he's had the second most touchdown passes in the league.
They got a lot of injuries. He's missing Evans. He's missing was running back last week, and they still winning.
But they got back Godwin, and now they got that rookie that's really good. So
yeah, they got the rookie
and
from
Baker,
Ohio.
Yeah, Emeka Ibuka. Yeah. Baker makes plays.
Yeah, he does, and he got that little, got that chip on his shoulder, so that, which I like.
And he has settled into his career. I think before the chip was leading him, whereas now the chip is driving him. If that makes sense.
Right? That makes sense.
Like before, he was trying to prove people wrong, and now he's still doing that, but it's not like he's not leading with that.
No.
He's like, okay, and he's playing football, and he's playing better football than I thought he could. To be honest with you, if I'm being completely honest, I didn't think he would be this good, and he's turned out to be great. Same thing with Sam Darnold. I thought Sam I am is I didn't think when he made the choice to leave Minnesota and go to where is he now? Seattle. When he chose to leave and go to Seattle, I was like, oh, that's going to be the death knell, because I thought the coach in Minnesota was kind of propping him up, putting him in favorable positions. But in Seattle, he's got a great situation, and he is working it. That game was full of fireworks. That was even though the teams weren't sexy, like nobody's really jumping up and down.
And yesterday there wasn't a lot of good games to me anyway. I mean, I think our game was the best game of the day.
Yeah,
that game, and then the Seattle game, and the Bills game was interesting just because it was close. And I thought the Bills would win. I didn't think it would be as good of a game as it actually was last night.
Yeah, I turned from it. I turned from the Bills game. I was watching it, and I was kind of like, and I turned away from it. I started watching other stuff, and then I turned back, and I was like, oh shit, the Patriots are still in it. Cause I just assumed that Josh Allen was going to do Josh Allen things, and
I figured it would be not a blowout, but I figured they would win.
And I when I saw that they actually lost the game, I was like, wow, okay, that's interesting. But yeah, the Colts, the Bucks, I think Seattle's a surprising team. I think
the Chargers, even though the last two games hasn't been
the last two games, their injuries are getting too big to overcome. They've lost 3 of their offensive linemen, and you got a quarterback like that, and like he doesn't have any time. They're getting beat, and so it's going to become problematic.
And the 49ers, I'm surprised.
The 49ers are surprised.
Pat Williams, I was surprised. He actually looked good in his 2 games. Because I thought they would lose that game against the Rams last week.
They should have lost that game against the Rams. I think Sean McVay has a mental block when it comes to coaching.
That's true. It comes to Kyle Shanahan.
Kyle Shanahan. I think even though they're going to downplay it, I think the 49ers have a quarterback controversy.
I think they will downplay it, and I think they're going to stick with Brock. Mac might get him a job next year.
Mac Jones has won 3 games
with injuries.
He's won the 3 games that he's played this year.
Yeah, with injuries. Yeah.
So, and then when your boy comes back, and yes, he's injured, but
no, I'm talking about the other injuries, because he's not playing with a full complement of players, and he looks good.
No, and he's still winning.
Yeah.
That's why it's a controversy. I'm winning with less. Wait till people come back. What you think's gonna happen? So they got a problem because they just paid.
Well, I mean that might be a good problem to have. I mean, and their schedule's weak, so the 49ers, they got a chance.
They do, but I'm like, Mac Jones is bigger, stronger, better
than Brock.
than Brock, but Brock's making $50-something million.
So yeah, I don't think they're gonna. I think Mac might get him a job somewhere else next year. They're gonna stick with Brock.
Yeah, I mean, he may Sam Donald it, but I'm like, where
He may say him, yeah, or Danny Dimes. But
I know where he can go. He can go to New
the
York.
fact that Danny Dimes and the fact that he would to me, the fact that Danny Dimes doing well and Saquon, something's the Giants organization as a whole. Something's wrong. And Dayball, even though he's supposed to be this great coach, it's the organization. I think it's just bad. And the neighbors is out with ACL. So I mean, the Giants.
From the top down, the Giants believe that if we just put a couple good players out there, everything's going to be okay.
Which is crazy because football is the ultimate team sport.
Exactly. So they're on the precipice of ruining another good quarterback.
I know he looked good his first day, but I'm like, they should have beat the Saints. He turned the ball over too many times.
When you don't, I mean, and Dayball was supposed to be this offensive genius, and he's not.
He hasn't been since they made the playoffs. Which was 3 years ago, and they lost against us.
So here's a moment we're gonna make you smarter right now. So get your pen and pad out. There's two types of offensive coaches. There's scheme guys,
Shanahan,
and there's personnel guys.
Mm-hmm.
Scheme guys can create great offenses. Shane Steichen is a great scheme guy. You see what's happening in Indianapolis right now because he finally got a quarterback that can execute.
Mm-hmm.
They have been playing lights out.
And your guy Shanahan, your guy Shanahan.
Shanahan is a scheme guy. They plug and play. Then you got the personnel guys, the guys that get dudes.
Like our team. We have dudes. We need more schemes.
Tampa has had 3 offensive coordinators in the Baker Mayfield era, and they've been good. All 3 of them been good. Why? Because they got dudes.
They do, and then they got more dudes with the rookie. Yeah.
Okay.
With the rookie, they got more dudes.
They got dudes. So there's 2 ways to win it. And they got a defense, right? So their coach is a defensive coach, but they got dudes. They got the quarterback right. They got the receivers right, and they invested in our offensive line. So it doesn't matter who you put behind them as a running back, right? They got running back by committee. I couldn't name the running back to save my life. But Baker's running that offense.
Bucky is one of them.
They're letting Baker do his thing, and Todd Bowles is running that defense and keeping them going. So you could win either way, but you got to be good at one of them.
True.
And what I'm seeing in Daboll is he was good in scheme when he had Josh Allen.
Oh yeah, because Josh makes
anybody look good.
Josh major problem is turning the ball over.
Josh can make anybody look good. But what has Brian Daboll been without Josh Allen?
Nothing, really.
Exactly.
I mean, they made the playoffs once, but I mean, it was
exactly. And then did they overpay Danny Dimes and then let Saquon go after that one good year, right? Mm-hmm. Now we're seeing it may not have been a fluke, right? That Danny Dimes was better than what we thought. Mm-hmm. I thought they overreached on that draft pick, but I still stand by. He's big, strong, athletic, and Shane Steichen has schemed him into a place to where he can just make throws and not have to.
He's a good coach. Decisions. He was our former OC. The year we went to the Super Bowl in 23.
Yes, and that's what got him the job in Indianapolis. But he hasn't had a quarterback until this year.
He's had Richardson.
Because he had Richardson and Richardson
for a minute.
It's like sending Richardson really is like sending a kindergartner to college. He should not have come out, but everybody was talking about his skills and all that.
He shouldn't have. Well, he shouldn't have got drafted early.
He had 13 starts at University of Florida. If you look at his stats, he had just as many touchdowns as he had interceptions. He was not ready for the NFL.
Oh yeah.
but he was big, strong, fast, and everybody was looking for big, strong, fast, and everybody wants to find the next guy. And so they thought they were smarter than everybody in the room and drafted Anthony Richardson 4th overall.
Yeah,
how's that working out for you? It's working out great for Danny Dimes.
What is? I'm happy for him. I can't stand when these quarterbacks get in these bad situations and it just ruined. More quarterbacks are ruined than developed, in my opinion.
I think again, I'm not a huge Tom Brady fan, but one thing I do agree with what he said was quarterbacks in college are not being developed, right, because of the transfer portal.
I agree. I think in the NFL too, because back in the day, you used to sit behind somebody and learn, and now they want to throw everybody out there trying to shave the job, this and that. So it's like they don't get time to actually develop. When you throw them out there, if they don't have no O-line or they don't have any weapons, I'm like, what the heck can you do? Like Bryce Young.
What are you gonna do, right? So,
and then you get these bad habits, and then you hold the ball too long, which most rookies do, which is why you need a decent line.
If you're a guy that is played in college and you've been at 3 schools in 4 years, how are you developing?
You're trying to play.
You're just trying to play. That's what you do in rec ball. That's what you do in travel ball here in these cities. That's what's happening.
And if you don't go to the right place, if you just want to play, you don't go what places where you can develop.
I live that, right? I live that.
Some places I think actually they get like say Cam, Newton. Sometimes it's beneficial changing schools, for the quarterback. But now it seems like you're okay. You want money, you want NIL deal. You're not thinking about.
He made a bad decision. Cam Newton made a bad decision off the rip.
Yeah.
You go to the University of Florida. Why would you go play behind Tim Tebow? That was stupid. That was a bad decision. He chose wrong school.
And Fields chose wrong school too.
He made another bad decision with the laptop situation.
Oh yeah.
And had to get up out of there. And then he worked his way into a better situation by
Auburn. Yeah.
But you got to learn, and sometimes learning means taking some lumps. Sometimes you got to take some lumps to learn. And taking lumps doesn't mean staying in college for 6-7 years like Tyler Shuck or Carson Beck or whatever when you're a 25, 26-year-old college quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it means there's not a lot of development and there's not a lot of coaches in the NFL that can survive trying to develop a quarterback.
True, because they will keep their job.
So you got to align your quarterback and your coach.
And right? you need a GM too that gets you some players.
You got to be in alignment where you draft a new quarterback, and you hire your new coach, and you draft a new quarterback. So they're aligned, they're joined at the hip. But anytime you got a coach like Dabo that is fighting for his
job, and the whole organization is dysfunctional,
you rush a quarterback to starting before he's really ready.
True, and then the offensive line is terrible. They missing their main wide receiver due to the injury.
But you did it anyway, right? Because hey, it's a desperate move. I'm trying to keep my fan base from booing me out of the stadium.
Should have put Jameis out there.
He should have put Jameis. We said that 2 weeks ago. He should have put Jameis out there. Let Jameis play. But everybody wanted to play with the shiny new toy. Well, guess what? He's out there now.
He is.
Behind a bad offensive line and without his number one wide receiver. How is that going to work out for Jackson Dart?
Not at all. We played him Thursday, and we're going to be not going to be good, especially after a loss.
Please run them off the field. I want you to.
We should. But we should. I think we should.
you got to stop. Your offensive coordinator has got to stop listening to what's people are saying and what the players are saying to him. He's got to call.
He just need to call plays. He need to I listen to those media every day, but I'm like, not like I'm in the locker room, but I'm like, all the stuff they're saying about AJ is not true. They're just trying to get some whatever.
Players gonna chirp to get the ball, especially offensive.
I mean, they're wide receivers. That's what they do.
Offensive
and he was
skill
correct
players
though.
do
They
that.
need to open up the offense, which I agree with. But that don't mean throwing the ball every play though.
He's lucky he's only got one disgruntled player on offense, and that's AJ.
But AJ, to me, compared to a diva wide receiver, he's not that bad. Which what he said was true. Our offense should be better. We should be blowing people out. You need to open up the offense. That don't mean throwing every time, but basically don't have a vanilla offense. I mean, I can see what you're about to do. And I know the other defenses can. So it's like, open up the offense. I think that's what all he's trying to say. And he just out there doing nothing. AJ can help the team because he's a dynamic wide receiver.
Thank you, Melissa, for saying bless you for my sneeze. Mm-hmm. Melissa's watching, and she saw me sneeze. And she
should bless you.
So, appreciate you. Yeah, I think the pendulum has swung too far in the other direction, right? Because we've had some instant successes with like Jaden Daniels, and Lamar Jackson.
CJ his first year.
We've had some instant successes. Even Patrick Mahomes, even though he didn't play until the end of his first year.
Blix actually looks good too because he got a great defense and a good coach.
Right. So everybody's trying to prove how smart they are by finding the guy.
The next guy, yeah.
The next guy that's going to be Jaden Daniels, CJ Stroud, all of these folks that hit the ground running,
mm-hmm.
and not thinking about what is it for long term. What I appreciate about what Buffalo did with
Josh
Allen is they were patient.
He
wasn't great in his first couple of years. He was an interception machine. We knew he was going to throw it to the other team. He was reckless. He would throw his body into places.
About like James. Because he's big.
We saw it, but they were patient. He put in the work.
He did, and he realized that I think they interviewed him the other day that he couldn't be out there, turning the ball over, basically.
Yeah, he developed as a player. Touchdown Chiefs.
Yeah, Kelsey.
Oh, they threw a flag. They ran a pick play.
What's a flag holding? Yeah.
That's a flag on the play. They did a rub route. Yeah, that's a straight pick. Yeah, they're going to call it offensive pass interference.
Mm-hmm.
On Juju Smith-Schuster, you're supposed to. Oh, they called it. Okay. I think it's because of the distance. That's why Patrick was telling them, "Hey, look, you can't call that. It's within 1 yard of the line of scrimmage. You can only call that when it's further downfield." So he said that's why he kept putting up the one. So sorry guys, we're kind of watching the game. All right, so I saw an interesting graphic that basically was like if the playoff started today, the Chiefs would be out. Now in that division. Chargers, Chiefs, Raiders, Broncos. Do you think the Chiefs are going to be out?
Out of the playoffs?
Yeah.
I don't think they are. They might not win the division this year, but I don't think they're going to be out the playoffs. We know the Raiders aren't going to make it.
Yeah, Raiders are.
And the Chargers, I think they're injured. So it's going to either be the Broncos or the, I think.
It's the Broncos and the Chiefs. I think the Broncos have the defense and
they do.
The moxie.
They do because I was surprised when Peyton went for 2. I was like, really? And then they got it. I was like, really?
I wasn't surprised. Peyton is a gambler, man.
He is a gambler, but I was still surprised. I was like, okay. I was like, y'all, and then y'all got to stop it, but they couldn't. Oh, because that changed.
On the road, that was big to do that on the road.
But they really have anything to lose, technically, by going for it, though.
No, because if you lose, it's like, oh, you lost to the champs. And
even if they didn't make it, their defense is good. And we're throwing the ball, and their defense is best. It's stopping the pass, not the run. So, which was why they shouldn't throw the ball. Anyway, so they figured their defense could stop us, which Elvis they were doing anyway. So they could basically still win the game, even if they didn't make those 2 points.
Look, Melissa, I feel you. Look, the Jags are 3-1. Running game's doing great, but I'm not sure if they can pull a W tonight, but I'm hopeful. So am I, and I'm torn because I do like Patrick Mahomes for whatever reason. I like Patrick Mahomes, but I'm pulling from hometown Jags.
I'm pulling for Jags.
So it's I think the Jags still have some issues that they gotta clean up, but they are looking if they can continue. I mean, Indianapolis is about to run away and hide with this division.
Who would have thought?
But if they can put 10 wins, I think they can make the playoffs, and that's a good thing. I think that the Chargers are not going to be able to overcome their injuries, so they're going to come back to earth. I think that the Broncos are sneaky good. I don't think they're a Super Bowl winning caliber team. I don't think they have enough talent, but they're well coached. Make the playoffs,
and they got a great defense.
And they got a great defense, and so they're not going to beat themselves. So when you play the Broncos, you got to beat them. They're not going to beat themselves. And Sean Payton's teams have been that way throughout his coaching history. I think the way things are looking, only one team is going to make it out of that black and blue division with the Ravens, Browns, Bengals, and Steelers, just because unless the Ravens turn something around, and their schedule gets really, really easy after the bye.
After their bye, yeah. After their bye.
Their schedule gets easier, but if that defense is still giving up, 30 pieces and 40 pieces a team, there's only so much that Lamar Jackson can do.
True.
So,
I think he's injured. Why I think he's injured. He was trying to do too much.
Yes, he definitely was trying to do too much. He's been doing too much the whole year. Oh, that's a good play. He's been doing too much the whole year, so that's really what's led to the injuries. I also think that the NFC East, I think the Commanders are coming back down to earth. But they're still very good.
They're still good, yeah.
I think the Giants they had that one game bump from bringing in the rookie.
Yeah.
But without Neighbors, they're going to be done. And I think the Cowboys, Dak is going to keep them relevant and keep them.
Yeah, but without a defense, you need defense in the
He's going to keep them watchable, so they're going to continue to make television because.
Well, of course, because they're the Cowboys. Even if they had won, they were like the Jets and not won the game, they'll still be the game of the week.
Because Chicago kind of blew them out, but for the most part, they have not been blown out.
They haven't been blown out. No, they lost 2 games.
Right. So I think that because of their popularity and the fact that they're competitive, they'll be on TV a lot more and they'll stay in a lot of games. So the worst thing that I've seen outside of the Jets, because the Jets are just bad, the Arizona Cardinals. What the hell was that yesterday?
Oh my goodness, that was crazy. And it's the same thing with the Colts.
Yes. And when you just see it happen a week before, and then you do the exact same thing,
I know.
What are you thinking?
The coach was pissed because they would have most likely won the game if they would have scored that.
Absolutely, they would have gone up 28-6.
Mm-hmm.
with 12 minutes left in the game.
And then let them come back.
And then when you get an interception and you let the ground cause a fumble, and then you can't pick it up. You have 4 guys in the area and y'all kicking it around. I was like, what are these professional athletes?
That was crazy.
And then it ends up in the end zone and they get a garbage touchdown that should have been a pick. That is
crazy.
Horrendous.
Crazy.
And then you give up a 38-yard pass to get them in field goal range to win the game.
Just gave the game away, basically.
That was probably as bad as I've seen. That's probably the worst thing I've seen on the league. Yeah. Minus the bad teams like Cincinnati. They're bad without Joe Burrow.
They're bad, but they don't have Joe Burrow.
You've already said enough.
They don't have Joe Burrow and they don't have defense. So it's just like,
there's no even you spinning breath on the Saints. They're just bad. There's some just really bad teams, but like a team like this is like that had promise and could have been good. That it is just the self-inflicted wounds. I think they said that's the 3rd straight game they've lost at the buzzer, on a kicker, on a field goal, on a last-second field goal. Ooh. 3rd straight game they lost. So, and how do you come back from that? Like, how do you stay in that?
Well, I think they're done. Yeah,
mentally, because it's hard to continue to put in that work and give that same kind of effort.
Yeah,
when you don't have any results to show for it.
I think the Jets are done. I think the Bengals are done. Who else is done? Cardinals, Ravens. Not Ravens, but the Raiders.
I think what's going to be interesting in the NFC South is who's the second team, right? Because we know the Saints are terrible. We know the Bucs are running away with the division. Carolina has already beat Atlanta.
And they won last week.
Atlanta came back and beat Washington. So are the Falcons going to right the ship and you build momentum off of that win against the Commanders and move forward? Or are they the team that showed up against the Panthers? And the Panthers aren't a team, they're not super really, really good, but they play hard and you have to beat them.
Yeah. It's not like being a cakewalk.
No. And so those are the hardest teams where you like, we should win this game, but they're gonna make it harder than what it needs to be. And those are the type of teams that I don't like to play. That are bad and don't know that they're bad. Because now you really got to.
True, because at the end of the day, all these are NFL, professional players, so I don't like take anybody lightly.
But the Saints, you start beating them, they're gonna, most teams if they know they're bad, they're gonna turn and go,
True.
All right.
But who would have thought that's when they were talking about starting a rookie, the Giants, when they played the Saints. Who would have thought that the Saints would have won after they beat the Chargers the week before? But anyway.
So as we're getting into our final few minutes here, one of the things I was surprised by the college football season is the demise of Arch Manning.
Well, see,
the rise and fall.
Arch Manning was never good. It was just the hype, and you can't never live up to the hype.
But it's not even about not living up to the hype. He is bad.
Oh, I agree, but I agree, but they had crowned him the Heisman before, so it makes him look worse in his last name.
The hype was way too much. I didn't ever think he was going to live up to the hype. I mean, I think there's only been a few athletes that's ever done that, like LeBron, Tiger Woods. Like they're the greatest athletes in history are ones that had hype and lived up to it or exceeded it. But this dude,
the only reason he was hyped is because of his last name.
Oh, last name and where he played, right? And so
That's true too.
he's at Texas.
It's
Now,
SEC.
if there's one thing that I give him a break on, his offensive line is terrible.
He is, and he hadn't played that. See, I never thought he was going to be as good as they thought. He's worse than we thought. But he hadn't played that. He hadn't played that many games, and he has a bad offensive line, and he in the SEC.
These guys are really, really bad. I mean, I wish I could be in film session with them, because I would roast the shit out their ass. They would not like me. They are terrible. That offensive line. And so when you have a quarterback that is facing immense pressure, that might be feeling it a little bit, may not have the same mental makeup as his uncles.
Yeah.
Help him out. Help him out. And maybe there's something different between what they see in practice and what they're seeing in the games.
It could be. It could be pressure.
You
Pressure.
know,
Pressure busts the pipe.
there's some practice stars. I love, there's some guys that look real good in practice. You put them in a game and it gets a little tight.
Oh,
Oh no, we did not get it. It's fourth down. So yeah, he's not good. A lot of the quarterbacks that everybody had preseason hype. Exactly, Melissa. K. Klubnik at Clemson.
I agree.
Garbage.
LSU.
Nutweiler, what's the name? Whatever his name is. Drew Adler at Penn State. Garbage. Okay. The brother at Oregon's playing well. The Alabama quarterback is playing.
He actually
well.
is, yeah, because that game the other day was actually good.
Loss.
Yeah.
The Florida State, he has been playing extremely well. And then like guys are like Illinois and they've been playing well, but like in terms of like your big school quarterbacks, none of them are really living up to the hype.
No.
Carson Beck is.
He actually is playing better than he played with Georgia, but
he is.
Yes, that game actually, I started to turn it off, but Florida State made it at least a little bit competitive at the end. They tried to come back.
I went and watched the game.
But the game that surprised me the most was the UCLA Penn State game. They won like 3 games.
That didn't surprise me.
It didn't surprise you at all.
UCLA, because the way Penn State lost that game, and then to play a winless team the next week, they weren't getting up for it emotionally. And UCLA was like, we can make our whole season. We're at home. We can make our whole season right here. And Penn State they're not dynamic enough to, like, Ohio State is the best team I've seen in this country this season. They have been the most complete.
That's true.
And
that's true.
They haven't, they don't play with their food. Penn State, and we would say this all the time, don't let a team beat you twice. And the way Penn State lost last week and all of the hoopla that comes out of losing that game to Oregon at home with the whiteout and all that stuff, then you got to go on the road, cross country against a winless team that you know you can beat, but they've got a good quarterback, but you know you can beat them. And guess what? You don't really practice as hard all week because you're still mad about last week in the overtime, and then you're not really focused. And then they jump out to a big lead, and you come back, but you got to play perfect. And when they had the one mistake, it cost them. Which you should never let a team beat you twice, and that's what happened. They lost twice to Oregon. And UCLA was just the conduit.
UCLA. Mm-hmm.
And so you can't do that. And I put that solely at the feet of James Franklin.
Coach.
And he took the hype. He took the heat. But that's his job, to get his team prepared to play. I don't care who you play. You gotta let it go, and you gotta flush it out. And that's your job as a coach, to get your team to be able to do that. But if you got a quarterback that's not quite there, that doesn't have that competitive dog in him, because he is not showing up. Drew Adler has not shown up in big games. And I don't know why they keep talking about him for the Heisman and top draft pick. I've not seen it. And in these big games, he freezes. So, but we'll see. I think that Ohio State is the best team in the country. I think that Alabama is rising. Particularly after that first loss and like what I've seen from Florida State. What I've seen from Florida State the past 2 weeks, they're not deserving of it. Of the hype that they got after the first 3 weeks. I think Florida played their best game of the season
against Alabama.
Against Texas when they beat Texas, and they beat Texas pretty soundly. I watched that whole game. They controlled that entire game. Texas had no shot. I think that the Florida-Alabama game is going to be much more interesting, even though Florida's record is not reflective of. But they lost to what? To Miami. They've lost some to really good teams. But I think we have to, particularly in this era, and the last thing I'll say as we're wrapping up.
Yeah.
In this era, I think we've got to stop overhyping quarterbacks, and I know we have to do that. The media has.
It's a media thing, but yeah, but Arch, it was too much. It was too much for Arch.
But it was all of them: Klubnik, Adler, Nussweiler at LSU. All of these guys that they were saying, "Oh, this is a quarterback deep draft." It's not.
They were saying it since last year. They were saying
all that. Oh, next year's draft. Everybody's just preparing for next year's draft because it's quarterback deep. No, it's not. The brother at South Carolina disappeared.
It's true. That's true.
No, it's not a quarterback deep draft. So you've got to reevaluate your how you assess, and I think coaches have to do a better job of that. I think the egos of the quarterbacks, especially when they're making that kind of money at these big schools, the egos and the bruising of their egos, so they just transfer out and go somewhere else. It's watering down college football.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
And that's what's making me sad, because I think that we're gone of the days when we could follow a quarterback for. Oh wow, how did he get that wide open? Well, we could follow a quarterback for 3 or 4 years and then follow him to the draft. Now it's like, where was he last year? Where was this good? I mean, Cam Ward is a classic example. He played at 3 schools. He becomes the number 1 overall draft pick. Now he's in Tennessee, calling his team ass.
He wasn't lying though.
Oh, he wasn't lying. I'm just saying.
He wasn't lying. He wasn't lying. They got to win. They got to win yesterday. They gave him a win yesterday.
Yes, they did. Yes, Arizona.
They gave him a win.
Arizona. So yeah. All right, y'all. We'll see y'all in 2 weeks. We'll be back in 2 weeks, and we'll see if the touchdown.
Who's that? Who made the touchdown?
Patrick Mahomes ran it in. So we'll see y'all in 2 weeks. We'll see how this shakes out. But it's not looking good for the Ravens. It's not looking good for the Jets. It's not looking good for a bunch of teams. And this college football season, outside of Ohio State, I don't know who else is good. Alabama. Alabama's good. And Miami. So those 3 teams. Yeah. Those 3 teams are good. Outside of that, it's whatever. So,
yeah, that's true.
I like Notre Dame, even though they had those 2 losses. But they're playing bum for the rest of the season, so it's hard to determine how good they will be. They lost their 2 biggest games, and now they're going to beat bums. They're going to stomp bums out and kind of work their way into the playoffs. But we'll see. But the big 3 are Alabama, Ohio State, and Miami. Outside of that, the rest of them. Oregon might be okay. I like
and FSU. They may be. Okay.
No.
They don't think they're going to be even okay?
No. They got 4 plays. I was like, we went to like the LSU Alumni Association has they watch the games at this little brewery that's near our house, and so we
Mhm.
go because my wife went to Florida
Yeah, for sure.
State.
Yeah.
So we went um, this past game. We went to the past two games. The past two games that they lost, um, and I'm watching the game. I'm like, they're running the same four plays. Whether the game is tied, they're up or they're down. They run the same four plays, and I'm like, Miami figured them out.
Mm.
And every once in a while, a play will pop, and they think, "Oh, it worked." No, it didn't work. It was a missed assignment. It wasn't the play was good.
Mhm.
And so I think as they start playing better teams, they're gonna lose. Now we've got tickets to the game against Clemson in Clemson,
They should be.
so
They should, but Clemson has just been
they're
bad this
bad
year.
too. That should be a good game for both of them. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think FSU is good. I think it's just Miami out of the ACC.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So. Yes, Melissa, I like the Gamecocks. My family's from South Carolina. My uncles, I have multiple uncles that went to South Carolina, so I do have a place in my heart for South Carolina. Most of my parents went to South Carolina State, but my family's from South Carolina. But um, I like the quarterback, but if he can stay another year, I think he needs to stay in college another year and stay at South Carolina in particular for another year.
That goes somewhere else.
But he probably won't because they're going to draft him on potential. Quarterback's the only position in the NFL that gets
Where they
drafted.
take you on potential.
They draft you high on potential. It's like the NBA. Like they draft everybody high on potential. In NFL, it's only quarterbacks. Everybody else has to show and earn it and whatever. But quarterbacks, they get that pass. So we'll see. All right, y'all.
All right. See you in 2 weeks. About the homecoming.
Oh, look. Post homecoming. Woo. Okay.
All right.